Hello, my name's Michael Keneally, and this is a presentation of Pluto in the astrology birth chart and how he manifests in your life. You do need to watch part 1, which is Mythic Keys to Understanding Pluto. This is more about the astrology of Pluto. Now, I do astrology readings and astrology courses. The courses are both in Western astrology and Vedic astrology. And just a few notes about those. If you want, they can include visionary astrology, which is very powerful. Basically, you develop clear appearance of a planet in his pure state as a refraction of the divine, and then you get clear appearance of a planet as he manifests in your chart and your life, seen through filter of sign, house, and aspects and relationships to the other planets. And that can be very different from the pure energy of the planet, because it's representative of our life scripts, our karmas, the lessons we came to learn, the achievements we incarnated to try and make. So, my courses can, if you wish, include visionary astrology, which is intensely valuable. And my astrology is never sort of fated and formulaic. Basically, it's geared to healing and empowerment. And so the perception could be healing, but also there's connection to many healing modalities. And the whole gist of it is all about, okay, you have this difficult script, how can you heal it? And of course, that's quite different from perhaps particularly Indian astrologers who like to sort of, rant out fated formulae. That's not how it should be used. It should be geared to healing and empowerment. And basically, if you want, there's always Vedic astrology, Western astrology crossover. So I can give you information about your Western astrology if you're studying Vedic astrology. And if you're studying Western astrology, I can say what Vedic astrology says about your particular planet that you're studying. And the way the courses are set up is very valuable. We simply work through one planet after the other in your chart and in my chart. So it's very genuine, very grounded. And in between each of these planet studies, we study techniques of astrological interpretation. And so there's personal correspondence and very good course materials. Okay, let's get on to Pluto. I'm sort of hurrying a bit because I don't want another visitor to come. And so this is, a tomb of the ancient Irish, 5,500 years ago. It's orientated to the sunrise at Samhain or Halloween. What better place to contact the energy of Pluto? So Pluto was discovered on the 18th of February 1930, and there's the chart for the moment of his discovery at the foot of the blog associated with this video. So basically, what you need to understand first of all is that Pluto has light side and dark side. So, he, as the god of the underworld, he was seen to hand out consequences that could be rewards and buried treasures, or chaos and suffering and pain. And really it's up to us how we experience the Pluto energies, the Pluto experiences. So the good side is buried treasure found in Pluto transits or Pluto natal placements, unimagined riches light out of darkness. But the danger is the power-seeking abuser, domination and submission, aggression and victor, obsessional dwelling on suffering and pain with no release through healing and anyone caring about it, or so you feel. But if we approach our Pluto experiences with sincerity, rebirth follows out of suffering. That's the key. So basically, in the attached blog, you can see Pluto characteristics and how Pluto works. He pushes deeply from within us, impelling us to move out of outworn phases of life, maybe past life scripts, maybe situations in this life, trips laid on us by our parents, our culture, or whatever, that we need to smash aside and erupt out of to become who we were born to be. So whereas Uranus offers lightning flash mind realizations, Pluto erupts change or die, change or be left bereft, living the rest of your life as a robot or automaton or whatever. So you get the the gist of it, and the sort of buzzwords are in the associated blog and in the very extensive course material I offer if you're on a course. So Pluto is a planet of extremes and can bring out the very worst or the very best of human behaviour. And so positively, he's transformative rebirth, providence, invisible forces and powers, force majeure, ruthless frankness, catharsis and liberation. But negatively, it's a case of he manifests as inner fates, driving blind and unconscious humans to situations of crisis in a driven, inevitable way, where their ignorance will lead to great suffering. And that's no criticism of them. We're here to learn perception, and our difficult experiences can actually be keys to our greatest buried treasure. So it feels like almost ruthless energy, fanaticism, agitation. And indeed, when Pluto was discovered, the West was in the grips of severe depression. And, there was the rise of dictators in Europe, Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, Franco. And at another level, psychoanalysis was in its heyday. So on another plane again, Pluto can manifest as tycoon-type wealth in the birth chart. And in medical astrology, he rules our reproductive organs, the prostate, the cervix, the rectum and the bladder, the lower stomach. And so when Pluto transits or transits to Pluto occur, these medical issues can be a manifestation. So, you need to understand how to interpret the transits of Pluto when he's going through a sign, when he's going through a house in your birth chart, and when he's going in aspect to one of the planets in your birth chart. And of course he can move forward over your planet and back again and forward again, and that can even repeat because his progression through the zodiac is so slow. So Pluto transits can easily last a couple or 2 or 3 years. And during a Pluto transit, what you've got to realise is that it's an opportunity for destruction of the old, a possibility for you to be reborn. And so often I deal with people who cannot see how they can escape a situation which is suffering for them beyond belief. They could be reborn. So, let me just, mention a couple of Pluto positions in the birth chart. I can't in a video list them all. There'll be no point. You've got the blog to have more, or enroll on my course or have a reading. But basically, when Pluto is unaspected in your chart, in other words, there's no aspect formed to other planets, in psychodynamic Western astrology, that's a sub-personality. It's cut off from the rest of your chart, cut off from the rest of your personality. And that's a situation to be aware of, because you're not aware of how you're coming over with the energy of a sub-personality. You haven't got anchors to it. And so you can at times come over incredibly intense and overpowerful. But at other times you could even be abused. So that just gives you a little insight into an unaspected planet, unaspected Pluto here, and into psychosynthesis astrology, which I teach, which is getting to know the sub-personalities, getting to know how the planets relate to each other. And that's part, you can build that into visionary astrology. I offer very sophisticated statements, in fact, based on subsystems of Vedic astrology, which actually state so accurately how your Saturn will treat your Venus, how your Mars will treat your Saturn, all those sort of things. So, the only placement of Pluto I've got time to mention in a video is Pluto in the first house. So basically, a Pluto in the first house person simply cannot tolerate his progress being blocked. He is here to transform his assertion into the world, and so he needs to learn, not to be too remorseless and intense about that, because otherwise he could bulldoze other people, bulldoze those he loves. And also, Pluto in the first house may be so attuned to intuitive connection, to the badness, and pick up over and over again on hidden power issues and hidden dark issues. And so he can even, and this is so important, take on board a script that he is incarnated badness himself. And so he needs to be reborn out of that. Another basic attribute of Pluto in the first house is that they can be driven to work hard in various ways. And Pluto will subvert or destroy all attempts that aren't conformative with the real you. So they could be brought up with certain expectations of how they should be, who they are. But Pluto in the first house drives them to manifest and find the real you in this life. And if they don't do it in this life, well, next life they'll have to do it. So these people, you can't expect them to conform. They might have conforming pleasant bits in their chart. Another sub-personality might be really, really nice. But this bit is like a tank going forward, if you see what I mean. Pluto in the first house. And so their emotional relationships will be particularly intense. Their lives will be characterized by a sense of fate and destiny. And there's a certain appearance about them. Their eyes can be penetrating or magnetic. They may exude sexuality. Power, authority, and magnetism may ooze from their personality. I've been in astrology groups where people can guess who are the Scorpio risers, who are the people with Pluto in the first house. So basically, enroll on my astrology courses or have a reading, find out about your Pluto, get perception, find out about possibilities for healing, and find out about what it's really all about, which is your empowerment. You're coming out of the darkness, often through very, very deep, strong, transformational periods, into a more ethical and powerful being, the one you were really born to be. So get in touch with me. Thank you.